Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex here. Today we are here with another episode of F1 2014 Career Mode, and today we are here in Singapore, one of the tracks which I find very tricky on this game, and one at least I hope we're going to have a decent race at. I'm assuming not too many points, but you never know in Formula 1. It can either be very good, very bad. Let's just see how it turns out for me. But here in Singapore, I'm struggling all over the place with my McLaren here, which is finding it quite hard to stick to the road, but we're jumping all over the curbs like it's nobody's business, and DRS activated down this first straight here. And in honesty guys, you can get up some massive speed here in Singapore. You can nearly hit 200 miles an hour depending on setup, and then you're braking into this very twisty part of the track. So it's a very sort of interesting track in the way that it's very different at certain parts. Some parts you need low downforce, other parts you need very high downforce, and you're always going to have to come to sort of a conclusion on which one you're going with, whether you're going with high downforce or low downforce. For me, I personally went for a bit of middle ground, but I went just a little bit more towards the sort of higher downforce setting. So I was hoping for a really decent race in a way, that I had the higher downforce, which meant I could keep up with them through the slower parts of the track, which I'm generally not as good at, and down the faster parts of the track and hopefully keep up. But you know, that's a bit of a risk because obviously having the higher downforce, it means you won't be as fast in a straight line. After two sectors here, you can see we are 9/10 of a second down on Nico Rosberg going into the final sector here. This is my one and only qualifying lap, and I was like, I've got to make it count here. I can't do anything silly. And you might be wondering, why am I doing just the one qualifying session yet again, guys? Basically, I'm just going to be mixing it up, to be honest, guys. I know you guys voted for 3 qualifying sections, but some tracks like Singapore, I just don't enjoy driving them as much as other ones. So hopefully you guys understand. It takes about twice as long to record an episode if I've got the 3 qualifying sessions on. So doing one qualifying session for some of the tracks I don't like, hopefully that's alright with you guys. At least the majority, I hope, understand that. So there's the qualifying results here. You can see 13th place isn't too great, but we're not that far off, are we? 1.299 seconds there, so that's not too bad whatsoever. And there you can see Nico Rosberg gets pole from Felipe Massa, and my teammate Jenson Button, that must be his best qualifying of the season, in third. Then we've got Vettel, Hulkenberg with a decent qualifying there, then Ricciardo, my rival Alonso, Perez, Raikkonen and Bottas, the 2 Finns rounding up the top 10 on the grid. And here we are going into the race here, and I bet you're wondering, why was Lewis Hamilton all the way down in 21st when you're looking at the qualifying screen a minute ago? Well, basically, I'm not too sure what happened to Hamilton, but he didn't even seem to set a time or something, or maybe he retired from qualifying. I'm not too sure what happened to him, but he qualified last, 20 seconds, and I'm not too sure. He still put a time in, that's what I don't understand. He had a time in, but it was very slow, so I'm not too sure whether he retired halfway through the session or something. I don't know. The game is a bit confusing sometimes. But anyway, moving on to the race here in Singapore, and guess what? It's full wet conditions, and at this point I'm like, oh my goodness. Really? This is happening? This is really happening? After actually I thought a pretty decent qualifying lap, I've gone and put myself in a very bad position here because I've not really got the wet setup on, have I? I've got a little bit of a higher downforce level than maybe the AI, but still it's not really a wet downforce setting, which means that I will struggle inevitably in this race. Now hopefully getting a good start in comparison to the AI, and I think it's pretty equal, to be honest. And just on the brakes into turn 1, I decided to go for the outside. I'm not too sure that was the best thing to do, but trying to go around the outside was maybe a bit of a silly idea, but I was just hoping to get around there without any contact or anything. Going a bit sideways, nearly hitting into Bottas, but we got ourselves into the top 10 here, and we can see our rival Alonso there, and he's already gone behind us because we've got past him here. And it looks like Massa, who started on the front row of the grid, is now down to 8th place there, so I'm not too sure what's happened to Massa there, but we're in 7th place there, which is pretty good for us, considering starting down, what is it, 13th? Making it up to 7th isn't too bad whatsoever. Now braking round the outside of Kimi Raikkonen, I think that was there, who had actually a pretty decent start. He got his way through the order, but he's lost it all again. He's back down to 7th? Yeah, down to 7th, Kimi Raikkonen there. So he's lost some positions. He had a good start, obviously, because he was starting, was it in 10th place or was it 9th place? I don't know. I said 2 Finns rounded up the back end of the top 10. So he finished, or started top 10, but obviously not that near the front. But now we've got Ricciardo. I think a very tough person to overtake around here in Singapore, because the Red Bull car might be down on straight line speed, but in terms of downforce levels and everything, it's probably about the same as the Mercedes. So it's going to be a pretty tough car to overtake here, and you can see we are sliding all over the place like it's nobody's business. And yeah, so we basically got Raikkonen right up behind us here, and it's going to be a struggle to keep up with Ricciardo here because he's got a better car, no doubt about that. But I've got to say, my teammate in second place here, Jenson Button, with a great start, is definitely going to be helping us out here, because if he can stay in second place there and hold off, I think it was Vettel that was in third at this point, behind him, that's really good, because it means hopefully we can catch up to the back of them. Maybe we use a bit of fast fuel mixture. That'll be the aim. We'll just do this first lap on normal fuel mixture, and then we'll switch up to fast fuel mixture later on. And hopefully we don't need to save any towards the end, because obviously the wet conditions mean you won't be going as fast, so you won't be using as many revs, so you'd sort of hope that you wouldn't be using as much fuel. But as I said, it's a game, so you don't never know whether all of it's you know, portrayed realistically in the game. So first lap completed up to P6, pretty decent first lap there. We're about nearly 2 seconds behind Daniel Ricciardo there, and we skip ahead to lap number 7. This is when it started to get a bit interesting. We had a bit of a curb glitch, I would say. Not this corner here, but the next corner. I'm not too sure whether you'd call it a curb glitch, or I don't even know what you'd call it. But here, turn in, hit the curb, and I suddenly lose control. I guess you'd call that an auto spin curb. I'm not too sure. Let me know in the comments down below if you've had that sort of experience in F1 2014 so far, whether you've had any auto spin curb experience. You guys know I have in my co-op career already. But here we are. Nothing happened. We didn't have any pit stops or anything until the last lap of the race, is where it got really exciting. So basically Rosberg cleared off at this point. He's 20 seconds up the road, and my teammate Jenson Button's doing a sterling job of just holding up these guys. So I think he's got Vettel behind him, then he has got, I'm not too sure who is in 4th, but then in 5th obviously Ricciardo, and then obviously 6th me. So who's that? Oh, it's Hulkenberg, who is in 5th place there, sorry 4th place there, so really good from Hulkenberg. And on the last lap of the race, this was the only ever time I saw purple in this race. I saw a purple sector from me, and I was pretty surprised, because I didn't have a particularly good first sector there. I mean, this last lap, I was track extending to the moon. I think I've already said that in this career mode so far, but yeah, I was track extending to the moon, going all over the curb, so you can see pretty much all 4 wheels off the track. But if I don't get a corner cut, it's alright. I don't have any penalties or anything. I mean, I did do some corner cutting before, but we've gone down the inside of Ricciardo. There we are, last lap of the race. We were stuck behind Daniel Ricciardo since lap number 1, pretty much, and we've, on the 15th lap of the race, somehow managed to find a way through. I was pretty surprised at myself and just how that all ended up, but we managed to do it. We managed to get past Daniel Ricciardo on the last lap of the race. It's going to be pretty tough to catch up to Hulkenberg now, but saying that, he hasn't really got the best car, so maybe we can find a way past on this last lap of the race. We're sliding all over the place, and now in the final part of the lap, and this is a tricky part of the track, under the bridge here. Sometimes you're hitting the wall and stuff, it's all over the place, but you can see my car doesn't have any grip as well, so we're literally sliding about all over the place, trying to catch Hulkenberg. It's really not going to happen, is it? But I've got to say, guys, a really interesting race for me. It was nice to see me keeping up with the AI, but at the end of the day, I would have liked to have more from this race, considering I see my teammate Button there in second place. I would have hoped to have been on the podium with him, but for me, it's nice to see Button on the podium. I mean, he deserved it. He's had a good season so far, and I think it keeps him in the top 10 of the championship as well. And 5th for us actually helps us out in the championship as well, obviously in our battle with Alonso. So there we are, there's your top 10. You've got Rosberg, my teammate Button, then Vettel, Hulkenberg, myself, Ricciardo, Massa, Raikkonen, Alonso, Bottas are your top 10. Then outside the top 10 we got the 2 Toro Rossos. They just missed out there, but there is actually a bit of a gap, isn't there, between Bottas and Kvyat. Bottas and Kvyat. There isn't really. It wasn't that close, so that's that. So yeah, Kvyat, Verne, Perez, Hamilton, Gutierrez, Sutil, Kobayashi, both the Lotuses behind Kobayashi there. But yeah, obviously a bad race for Lewis Hamilton in wet conditions. Can't really get past people in these conditions, so he was struggling. Considering he started right near the back, he couldn't really make his way to the front. So there we are. There are the Drivers' Championship, guys. Close again with Rosberg and Hamilton. I think now Rosberg has taken the lead, and Hamilton's back down to second. Vettel is in third. He can still win the championship, but it doesn't look very likely. Then myself in 4th, which I've overtaken Alonso there, so that's good for me. Then Ricciardo, Massa there in 7th, 8th is Raikkonen, and then we go ahead to the constructors. There's Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari, and then we are in 4th there, and we're not that far behind Ferrari at all there. So what, 6 points behind Ferrari, so there's definitely a challenge there. I think we've got a good chance of maybe getting past them in the last couple of rounds of this championship. But yeah guys, thanks for watching once again. Hopefully you did enjoy this video. Remember to leave your comments and opinions down in that comment section below, and if you do like the video, always leaving a like does help me out, it really does. So yeah, that is it. Thanks again for watching guys. Lost my voice pretty much for doing this video, but yeah, it's been Alex, I'm out here. Goodbye.